What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. This is a reaction, 10 weird things Americans have that non-Americans think are cool. I have no idea what's going to be in this. I guess I'll somewhat be the judge of some of them. Obviously, everyone's opinions are different, so some people will think it's true, maybe some don't. I don't know, but I don't really know what sort of things there'll be here. Will it be to do with like culture or certain specific, I don't know, items would be a thing? Just certain specific things. I don't know. Like, yeah, we're gonna see. That's the whole point of reacting to this video. But hopefully, you're going to enjoy. And I guess after the video, let me know if you're not from the US, if you find this the case, or if you are from the US, if this is even necessarily true. And yeah, let's just jump into this. Links are also in the description to my Patreon, where you can find reactions to films, TV series, YouTube reactions that I can't post to YouTube, and also I do reactions based off suggestions on the Patreon. So yeah, links are there for those interested. But let's check this out.
So today I wanted to look at 10 things that non-American people find very nice about American people. Like, it makes us go, oh, like these are quite nice things that you do that we enjoy, like your little aliens, and it's just fun for us to look at you, but aliens that we like. Before I get into today's video, your Irish curse for the day is that if you don't subscribe or like or comment on the video, there's a chance that the next time you put on socks, you're going to put your foot down on the ground and it's going to get wet, and you're going to have wet socks, and nobody wants wet socks, so, you know, subscribe or like or comment. It's your choice. Today's video is sponsored by Skillshare.
But you got money as well. Let's go, man. Oh, this is an old ad, by the way, so it's not still there, but you'll have to see it.
So the first thing that Americans do that non-American people think is pretty cool is baby showers. Baby showers are starting to catch on.
What is a baby shower? Is it just a baby having a shower? Well, I've heard the term, but I don't actually know what a baby shower is.
On a little tiny bit outside of America now, but they're definitely not the norm. I have never attended a baby shower, but I actually think it's a really good idea because there's definitely a superstition in parts of Europe that it's bad luck to buy stuff for the baby before they're born, and so this would give you a good way of like having access to things like nappies.
I gotta search out what the hell is a baby. This I guess goes to show we don't have it here. What is a baby? I mean, I've heard it again. I don't know what it is. Meaning. A party held for a woman who is expecting a baby. Oh, to which friends? I thought it was the actual baby shower. Oh my days. I'm sure there are some people who have parties here. If you found out your friend's pregnant, I'm sure you'll get friends together. But maybe it's a bigger occasion. I don't know. Well, there we go.
And I don't know what do babies need. I don't know, baby stuff, things that babies need. It would let you do that without like breaking the tradition of like not buying stuff yourself if you're superstitious. Also, a lot of my friends who have been pregnant find that time really hard, so it's just a cool idea to have yourself surrounded by people who love you. Possibly in a social distancing way right now, but yeah. The next thing that Americans do that I think is pretty cool is you guys have very short resumes. In Ireland and also in Spain, I've seen they have quite long resumes, like 3 pages long, and we call them CVs.
Oh, that's what I was thinking. Wait, what's a resume? A CV, alright.
When you're writing your CV, you have to make it really detailed. Like,
yeah, you got to try and promote yourself as much as possible, right? That's the whole point.
Go into your qualifications and the things you did at your last position and all this kind of thing. So it is not uncommon for your CV to run 3, maybe even 6 pages long, but for some reason I think the shorter one is better.
Is that a weird thing though, or is that just a difference? I don't know if that's weird. It's probably better if anything, because you have to write less. But I don't know if that's a weird thing, but it's a difference.
Because it's just kind of like your key points and it summarizes, and then if you go in for the interview they can ask you more. I definitely think that's a better idea. Like, for me, shorter has always been better. I struggled big time in school to make things long. Like, I am a concise person. I like to sum up things. Moving on, the next thing that we think is kind of interesting is that you guys get married very young in America, and it kind of ties in with that whole high school sweetheart thing. You'll find it very rare that people in Ireland or in Spain or elsewhere will get married that young.
How young? I mean, I feel like I probably somewhat would recognise that, but I don't know. There's a whole sort of meme about people having kids young in the UK. Maybe not a meme, but it's like a generalization that there's a lot of young mums and stuff like that, which maybe is the case. I don't know if it's more than any other place, but it's just a sort of like, I feel like a sort of a generalization. Again, it's probably a generalization in the US, but I definitely have sort of seen that kind of thing before.
Like, you guys get engaged in high school or college, and that's just kind of wild. I don't know
Bruh.
anybody who got engaged that young in my...
Do I have any friends from my school, from my year, that have been married? I don't think I have any friends. And I'm 22 now, so they're going to be 21, 22, 23. I don't know anyone, friends or not friends, who is even married at this point. And I guess that would be quite common in the UK. Like, you wouldn't really see that, but I guess in the US it's a lot. Well, that's the point, right? You'll see that, and it's just sort of how it is.
My life at all. Also, a big bonus on it is like any high school TV shows that you watch makes your investment in the relationships in that show much higher, because the stakes are higher, because they're potentially going to get married and have babies even though they're just in school. But you wouldn't even think that about a guy you dated in school in Ireland, like, at all. God, I wonder where my school boyfriend is now. Hi, you didn't exist. As a consequence of that, though, your divorce rate is a lot higher, so that would be kind of the negative side of it. But
Oh, is that true? So I guess people get married young and are like, yeah, this is a big mistake, and they just want something new. That does make sense, to be honest, because if you're with someone from so young, you're so madly in love, and I guess when you're younger, you're just sort of you'll do things a bit more willingly, maybe. And yeah, that does go hand in hand, to be fair.
we're just gonna move on to the next point. The next thing that we find pretty adorable is when you guys make an effort to do our slang terms. Like, it's super cute.
Huh?
Like, we take your slang terms on board and we say words like awesome and dude.
Have I ever said awesome? I don't think I've ever said awesome in a video reaction. I don't ever say the word. I didn't really know it was an American slang term either. But I can sort of see that, because it is definitely a word you'd hear like in US TV like shows and films. Awesome, dude, and stuff like that. I've just said them both together.
American words. I couldn't think of good examples. You know, we say your American
I
words.
don't think they're really slang words, so they're just American. Like, they're just used a lot more in America.
But when I hear Americans saying Irish words like, it's deadly, or it's great crack, I don't know, that's just like, aw, that's cute. I appreciate it on the level, like, you know, when your parents try to say something, and like, it's a little cringe, but it's also cute, because it's like, it's a cool word. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's very adorable. The next thing that I really like that Americans do, and I wish we had this feeling in Europe, is that you guys really embrace weirdness. Like, you love people who are diverse and different and quirky.
Some people love it, some people hate it. I think it's like an extreme of both sides, where it's either they embrace it or they don't. There's no in between, it's just one end or the other.
And you like that, whereas it's not really that encouraged in Ireland and Spain. You're kind of looked at.
Is she from Spain or something? She keeps referring to Spain. I guess she's like, she lives in Spain or something.
A bit of an oddball. People are definitely becoming more open-minded in Europe, but in America, you've kind of nailed it already. In America, if you're walking around wearing something odd, people will just like smile, or they might politely ignore you, or if you're doing something strange, they might ask questions.
You're weird, but I like you.
If I was in America, I'd happily be allowed to push my dog around in a stroller, and that is something that I want to do, but I can't do it here because people will think I'm strange. I might just do it anyway because it seems fun. So like, you can wear a funny outfit, you can dress in Japanese manga every day, or if I wanted to dress in Victorian clothes every day of my life, which actually I think is kind of cool. I'd like to try out wearing a corset, but it would just be too strange here. But if I lived in America, not only could I do that, I'd find a group of people who wanted to do it with me. You could find your tribe, because those things exist in America. You embrace weirdness, and I like that about you guys. The next thing that you have in America that I really, really, really wish we had more of is basements. You guys have pretty much basements.
That's a good point. My grandparents had a basement, but that's because they had their house built from scratch, and it was a very small basement. We didn't have a basement in my mum's house. I don't have a basement here. I live in an apartment, so that's obviously why. But they are not common at all in the UK. That's a very true fact.
As a standard thing in most houses. Here in Spain, they're fairly non-existent entirely, and in Ireland they are a total rarity. But in America, you have these basements, and they go from everything from spooky to having been redone, and you can decorate them and make them into cool rooms for like your oldest kid or whatever. And I just think that's really cool. Like, you have a whole extra room under your house.
Don't go down there.
In Europe, we mostly just have the foundations of the house. They don't blow down that much though, so that's good, I suppose. But yeah, you get a whole extra room, which is just very, very, very cool. And I wish I had that, if not for the extra room, for the, oh my god, go down to the basement, it's so dark and spooky. I don't have a room like that in my house, so yeah. The next thing that you guys tend to do that I think is very cool is that you're very good at explaining things to outsiders like me. Like explaining foreign things. You're very open and willing to do that.
I'm terrible at explaining things. I'm absolutely shocking. I'll know the meaning of a word, but then I'll not know how to explain the meaning of the word. I'm so bad at explaining anything.
But what I think is exceptionally cool is when you guys explain something that's so common throughout the world, but you guys think maybe we don't have it. I just find that very cute. Okay, I'm trying to think of an example. So one time an American person was telling me that in America you guys have self-serve tills at the checkout, and I was like, yeah, we have those too. But I enjoyed the person explaining it to me, like in a way that, you know, when you're a kid and you're asking your parents to tell you stories over and over about when you were a baby, you just kind of like hearing about things you already know about. But I really admire American people's openness to explain those things to outsiders. Here in Spain, sometimes if there's something I don't understand, I do find people looking at me like I have two heads, and they're not super willing to explain it to me unless I'm overly nice and explain that I'm stupid and I don't know anything. Then they kind of like help, but I do think in America people are much more willing to help outsiders to learn new things about their culture, because
I think that's a fair point, to be honest. I've not been to the US, but I could definitely see that being the case.
they're just kind of more open like that. The next thing that you guys have that I think is really cool is you have merch for everything. Like any TV show that I enjoy.
Wait, merch for like what? So say like there's like a meme from a TV show. Would they be merch from that? Is that sort of what she's saying?
Has merch. I can go out and buy a Walking Dead hoodie. No problem.
Yeah, but you can have that for shows here. Like you can find like a Peaky Blinders jumper or something. Probably. I'm sure you can get the same sort of stuff here as well.
That's not difficult to do.
We have merch. Like 10 people bought it, but it exists.
I mean, your presidents have merch. The people running for presidency have merch. And I'm supposing that's so normal to you guys that you don't see it as remarkable.
Maybe it is different.
I cannot imagine.
I've never looked into if any UK politician has merch or anything, but I'm sure if they did, no one would buy it. So, I mean, maybe there is, just I've never seen it before.
Our president having a baseball cap or a t-shirt with his face on it.
That's true, actually. You've got like what were the Trump hats again? Were they actually his merch, by the way, or was it just a phrase that he said? Make America Great Again. Is that his merch, or is that just a general sort of hat? I think it's probably his merch, actually, right? I guess she's making a fair point, because you would not see that.
I'm sure it
Yeah.
exists, but it's not like a thing. You have merch for the funniest things too, like Pop-Tarts. There's Pop-Tarts merch. You can buy that
I swear I've seen this before.
if you're a big
This jumper. So, that's such a terrible jumper. Oh my
fan
god.
of Pop-Tarts, because there's an audience for everything over there pretty much, and I appreciate that about you guys. And the number one thing that you have in America that I really admire is you have businesses that I would make up in my head that actually exist over there. Here, I can only dream of a dog swimming pool. That doesn't exist here unless you have your own private swimming pool, which I don't. But over there are dog swimming pool places that cater purely for dogs. I think in Ireland there is like a place where dogs can rehabilitate, like if they've had an injury they can go in a swimming pool, but I can't just casually go with my dog and a beach ball and go play in it. Like that's not a thing. But in America, it's very much a thing. You also have like things for niche markets, like you have stripping places for people who like fat strippers, like that's a thing, and like more
Fair enough.
power to you.
Niche to it. I guess you suit everyone's needs.
That's what you're into. There is a place for that. I enjoy and appreciate the weirdness that you embrace in your everyday life. So go you. That's pretty much it for
Well, there we go. That was a little look into it. Some of these things I don't really know if there's much of a difference, but some, to be fair, there probably are. I mean, baby showers, I didn't even know what they were, so that's probably one. Resumes, I wouldn't say it's a weird one. Young marriage, I could definitely see that. I don't actually know if it's true, but I can definitely see that. I feel like places like, there's just certain states where you'll get married a lot younger, and it's just sort of the norm. Slang terms, I don't know about that one. Embrace weirdness. I said both ends of the spectrum, right? Explanations, yeah, I can't see that. Merch, I can also see that as well, to be fair. And dog swimming pools. But yeah, it's actually nice to hear someone say something nice about America. But yeah, I hopefully you enjoyed this reaction. It was a little look into it. I did enjoy this reaction, to be fair. I don't know how much people will agree with it, but I enjoyed it. And yeah, until next time, peace.